Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Dietz with Catalyst Connection, and I am your moderator for this morning's panel discussion. We're very excited to bring to you today this fantastic manufacturing panel of local representatives. And this is all part of National Manufacturing Day, or National Manufacturing Month, if you will. So we are very excited to have partnered with Penn State New Kensington and the Digital Foundry and bringing you this panel discussion today. We're very excited that students have an opportunity to learn and see about these careers in manufacturing and really to get an engaging opportunity and experience. So again, we really just want to thank all of our speakers for participating in the program today. We're going to kick things off this morning with a quick video just to set the tone for today, but also just to share a little bit of a picture of what manufacturing looks like today and the value that manufacturing has in the region. And then we're going to jump into some introductions and our panel discussion, followed by some information that's going to be shared by our friends at Penn State New Kensington. And then we'll wrap up our conversation for today. So I'm just going to play this video real quick. Give me 1 second to share a screen. Here we go.
During a time that tested the dedication, determination, resiliency, and reliability of companies and employees everywhere, manufacturers of Northeastern and the northern tier of Pennsylvania never backed down. Instead, they doubled down on their resolve to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Some pivoted and innovated their ways into new markets to provide our country with much-needed safety equipment, medical device components, cleansers, sanitizers, and personal protective equipment. Others enhanced their safety protocols and ramped up to keep products on shelves, technology at our fingertips, shipments on the roads and rails, medicines nearby, and external threats at a distance. Our regional manufacturers were the stronghold that kept us healthy and safe while keeping our economy running. It's no surprise that our manufacturers had our back during the pandemic. After all, we hail from communities and families that fueled the Industrial Revolution, forged the iron and steel that built our nation, and worked the land and harvested the yield for generations. Now, that ingrained work ethic is coupled with advanced technology, connectivity, diversity, and collaboration, and our manufacturing potential is limitless. We're not out of the woods yet, but our industrial engine is still running strong, and we're confident that our manufacturers will continue to lead us through whatever challenges await. Today, on this National Manufacturing Day of 2021, we pause to say thank you to the manufacturers that have healed, protected, nourished, energized, maintained, and comforted us over the past year, and their 44,000 regional employees. Please accept our most sincere thankfulness and gratitude for jobs well done when we needed you the most. Happy Manufacturing Day. We appreciate you.
So that video was created by our friends in Northeast Pennsylvania, but we thought it was definitely applicable to the conversation today. And again, we give a big thank you to all of our manufacturers that are on this call today, but all the manufacturers here that also have contributed to the community and have worked through some challenging times. As I know, many of the schools that are watching this have gone through challenging times, as has the rest of us. So again, we thank you for your involvement, but we thank you for your time today, and also thank you for the hard work that you do every day to contribute to our local economy. So with that, again, I'll just remind everyone to go on mute if you're not speaking, but and that'll keep everything flowing nicely and make sure we don't have any distractions. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start off our introductions for today. So I'm going to ask that Amanda from Zoll kick us off this morning, and just tell us real quick your name and your title, and tell us just briefly what Zoll does.
Yes, as Scott said, my name is Amanda Krizan. I work for Zoll Life Fest, located in RIDC Park, Farmerville. And Zoll Life Fest, for those of you that don't know, in a nutshell, is a defibrillator vest worn by people that are at high risk of sudden cardiac events, sudden cardiac death. They act as a defibrillator that will send an electric shock to a patient who is having a too fast of a heartbeat or too slow of a heartbeat, and can, potentially save their lives if they're at high risk of a heart attack, or if they're waiting for a bypass surgery, or if their doctor feels that they need to get a continuous read on how their heart reacts when they're not around their doctor, so that they can better prescribe and help the patients in the long run.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Amanda. We're going to go to Joe Abraham at JV Manufacturing. Joe, if you can come off mute, just introduce yourself for us. Tell us a little bit about JV Manufacturing too, please.
All right, yeah. So I'm Joe Abraham, as Scott just said, and I'm a precision grinder here at JV Manufacturing. And we work on stamping dies, and we produce the tools that work in those stamping dies. A lot of times I'm grinding tolerances of up to a 10,000th of an inch, or sometimes 50 millionths. So we pride ourselves in precision, and everything that we produce, we want to make it the highest quality. 70% of our customers' sales are in energy. So that's kind of like the upcoming thing that we're looking at, since the green initiatives are going to take place soon. And so we're looking at a lot of that stuff. And right now we're expanding. In 2019, we had a $7.5 million plan of technology and equipment. So we're expanding our company right now, and it's looking pretty good. So
it's fantastic. Thanks for joining us, Joe. We're going to go over to Sedona. Sedona, if you can introduce yourself this morning.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sedona Rogers. I work for Eaton Electrical. I'm a power systems controls engineer. Is it all right if I share my screen real quick, Scott?
Yep, go for it.
All right, so I have just a PowerPoint slide here that shows a couple of the things that we work on. Visual tends to help in my department. Eaton works on power distribution equipment. If for specifically my job, I'm working with programmable logic controllers. They look something like this, and we program basically the brains behind power distribution systems. So when you have a power source or a building that needs to switch over to different power sources, such as utility to generator, there's brains behind all that decides when that will happen, and will do it automatically. So on the right here is just a little snippet of the type of code I typically write when I'm in the office. And then I work a lot with the plants down here in the South. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room. I'm in South Carolina right now at one of our plants that manufactures these switchgear and switchboard lineups.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Sedona. We're going to go to Tina, I believe, is going to be taking over for Cook Medical this morning. So,
all right. Well, hello, I'm Claire Dickey. I'm from Grove City, Pennsylvania, and I just graduated from the University of Pittsburgh with a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering and a minor in mechanical engineering. I've been working at Cook Medical in Vandergrift, PA. That's this little dot on the map. For the last 2.5 months as a sustaining engineer. At Vandergrift, we manufacture 3 different product lines. So we make pipettes for in vitro fertilization. We manufacture holding pipettes that hold an egg, and we manufacture injection pipettes that are sharp enough to puncture the egg and inject it with sperm. These pipettes are very, very tiny. The width of human hair is about 20 micrometers thick, and the tip of our injection pipettes are 7 micrometers thick. So it's even thinner than human hair. Another device we manufacture are Doppler blood flow monitors. These are attached to blood vessels during reconstructive surgeries. They monitor the blood flow and provide feedback to the surgeon, so they will be aware if blood flow to the newly implanted tissue is obstructed. We also manufacture devices that surgeons use to remove pacemaker leads. The leads on a pacemaker are small wires that get attached to the heart wall. They deliver a burst of energy to the heart, helping to control its pulse. Sometimes these leads can get infected or need a replacement. So over time, the pacemaker leads get coated with tissue, so they can't just be pulled right out. Cook's devices diffuse the tissue surrounding the lead so it can be more easily removed. So that's a quick summary on what we manufacture here at Cook Medical.
that's awesome. If you could stop your screen share, we'll go to our last presenter for today, and joining us is Vito. Vito, you want to introduce yourself for us?
Hi, my name is Vito Gerasole. I own Natrona Bottling Company. We are a 116-year-old soda pop company that makes soda pop. We use machinery that's been around for 80 years, and we are the last soda pop company in the country that uses dry ice to carbonate their beverages instead of a run-of-the-mill generic CO2. We are one of 15 left in the country that make and bottle our products in the manner in which we do. I like to say that we come from a time when every small community across the country had their own little soda pop shop to call their own. We're the last of the dinosaurs, and we are growing, and it's perfect time for this type of product. People are looking for a more cleaner item. We give them that. We are a very hands-on company. A lot of products that you see, glass bottle products or beverages, period, that you see on the market are mass-produced, obviously, and they are made in various number of facilities across the country. Everything is made in our house. The brands are our own, and the recipes are our own. We make them ourselves, and I wouldn't like to say that our process is technologically advanced, because it is not. But if you like getting greasy and you like making a good product, it's a very fun job. It truly is.
Well, great. Thanks for joining us, Vito. And I've got several questions already in my head for all of you as you were introducing yourselves. Such fascinating diversity of manufacturers that we have here on this presentation today. So I'm really excited to really dive into this deeper. But let's just talk a little bit about your career journeys. And again, I know this is something that can go on for probably 10 to 15 minutes each, but due to time, if you can give us the abbreviated versions of your how did you get to where you are? So some of you might have gone direct to work, or some of you might have gone through college pathways, and kind of give us the quick synopsis of how you got to your current job. So I'll give you 2 minutes each, and then we'll go to the next person. So we're going to go back to the top of the lineup, though. So Amanda, if you want to kick us off, and then Joe, you'll be up next to be thinking about what you're going to say for your background story. So.
Yes. So I started working at Zoll about 5 years ago. I started on night shift in the materials office. I worked on night shift for about a year, and then I was able to have an opportunity on day shift and work in materials. We supply the rest of the manufacturing floor with the parts that they need to make the devices that we produce. I did that for about 2 years, and then I was promoted to production coordinator for the materials office. In that role, I was able to work with shipping, finished goods, and materials on continuous process improvements, basically just making our workplace a better place and helping people as much as I could. About a year ago in November, I was asked to join the MRB room because they were expanding as we come out with a new product in the future. We're going to have more of an influx of parts flowing through the MRB room. So now I work in the MRB room as a quality assurance inspector.
So it sounds like, Amanda, there's a lot of opportunities to get into a specific job at a manufacturer, but then grow your career and to continue on different pathways, continue to learn.
There certainly is. And Zoll is all about self-improvement and helping you to do a better job. We have a lot of educational programs and training programs here at the facility that we offer to our employees that can help make them better at what they do. So if you come in and you don't know very much about the product, we can guarantee that you can be educated as much as you're able to be educated about it within a short amount of time.
That's awesome. Joe, tell us a little bit about your journey.
All right, Scott. Yeah, it's been a long journey, so I'll break it down into 2 minutes. When I first graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, like a lot of young people these days. And, everybody says to go to college. So I tried my hand in that, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break. And I ended up getting involved with like a boat tech school. Like after college, it was like the technical school, and I went for machining, and they taught me how to read micrometers, calipers, and basically just some general knowledge of the machining industry. And from there, I got a job at a different company, and I learned the basics of surface grinding. And that's kind of what a lot of the basic components are. They used to be really heavy in surface grinding, but with modern technology, we're kind of moving away from that a little bit, but we still do a lot of that in the industry. So I learned surface grinding, and then that kind of built my skills of the precision. So that's like the 10,000th of an inch stuff, the real precise grinding stuff. And then I came over to JV manufacturing, and right now I have the opportunity to learn wire cut, which is state of the art, which I'm really excited about. And that's the beauty of this industry too. You can continue to grow your skills and learn. Right now they're teaching me how to program the machinery, so that some computer technology getting integrated into that. And it's just been great. It's exciting. I enjoy coming to work every day, and it's nice to grow your career. That's something I really enjoy about it.
I always find wire cutting to be a very fascinating thing that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but basically you take a small thin wire and you can slice through metal like butter.
Yeah. That's what's really neat about it, because it sends an electrical current through the wire, and it basically melts the material away. Like it burns it away. It's really neat. Yeah. And the precision with that is just mind boggling,
We'll come back to precision and quality here in a question here in a minute, because a lot of you have been talking about that already. So I'm going to kick it over to Claire. Claire, can tell us a little bit about your pathway to where you're at currently.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I had an interest in becoming an engineer because my strengths were in math and physics. I also had a brother that had a lot of medical issues, so I was exposed early on to plenty of hospitals and doctors' offices, and that gave me an interest in becoming involved in the medical field. So I ended up majoring in biomedical engineering at the University of Pittsburgh. And through my classes, especially a senior design class I took, I soon learned that I wanted to work with medical devices. So after graduation, I applied to Cook Medical.
Had you ever heard of Cook Medical before?
I had not, actually.
It's amazing to me how many manufacturers are doing some amazing, cool things, and folks just don't know they're an option for a career. So I always find it fascinating that folks kind of find their way to these companies that are in the industrial parks scattered across our region. So we're going to go to Sedona.
So I always kind of knew in high school that I wanted to go for something in the engineering field. I didn't really want to leave the Pittsburgh area, so I ended up going to Penn State New Kensington for electromechanical engineering technology, which was a really interesting degree because it combines the two, electrical and mechanical engineering, but it's also a technology degree, so it's a lot more hands-on and application-based. And that exposed me to the world of like industrial controls and automation. While in school, I did an internship with Eaton, and then with Penn State's Applied Research Lab, and I had a lot more interest in what Eaton does. And they're such a large, massive company. There's so many opportunities to grow within them, and even to change little bits within the power industry because it's so large. So that's how I ended up working there right out of college. And I've been there since June.
And I don't know if you mentioned this before, but Eaton is a very large corporation, right? So there's probably a lot of room for growth and a career trajectory there.
Yeah, they really push you to find what you really like to do. So say I decided 2 years into this role, I wanted to try out sales or something like that. They're really supportive of you staying within the company, but trying out different roles. And they also have a rotational program that you can apply to. That'll be, I believe it's about 3 years, and it rotates you through 3 different fields within Eaton that you can experience to kind of grow your career path and decide what you really want to do.
Did just one last question for you while I'm thinking of it. Did you mentioned you're traveling right now? Did you know that was something that you'd be able to do a lot of and be part of your job? And is that something that's an interesting aspect of what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was interviewing, they did mention to me it would be about 50% travel. It is a field engineering position, so I expected that. And the travel, because I'm new, I kind of hop onto projects. So at times it seems a bit sporadic. I can travel 3 weeks a month, or I could travel not at all. And sometimes it's for 1 day and sometimes it's for a week. But I really enjoy it, being out in the field. I go to customer sites, I go to other Eaton plants, I get to work with engineers across the country. And I think it's really exciting to learn from them and learn from the people in the field that I meet.
Great. Vito, how did you get to where you're at? I'm sure as an owner of the company, it's probably a little bit of a different journey than some of the folks we've heard from so far.
Yeah, it's a little different. um, so my journey to where I'm at today was never planned, was never well thought out. I attribute a lot of where I am today to being in the right place, knowing when to act or take a person's advice and use it, and reacting. I graduated high school. Luckily, I took a year at Kiski Prep, post-grad year after, and then tried to go to college. Just wasn't for me. I was young and I, just wanted to be a kid. All right. But my family had a restaurant in the Shady Side area of Pittsburgh, and I worked there for 18, 19 years and still do work for them. Currently on the back end. That was the industry that I thought I was going to be in the rest of my life. I was preparing myself to have my own restaurants, and I took classes in Portland, Oregon. I took classes in New York and San Francisco, bunch of food classes, coffee classes, wine classes. And someone comes to me one day and says, "Do you want to sell soda pop?" And I didn't know how to take it. But I came down here and I watched the machine run. I tasted the product. The product is a very high quality soda pop. And just watching the machine and the nostalgia, I'm a very nostalgic person, really kicked in. And the company was about to close at the time. So I figured I could just throw some pop in the back of my car, make a couple extra bucks during the week, and continue to work at my family's restaurant and grow into that position further. It turns out that decisions I was making as far as marketing, branding, messaging, creating the right contacts, and the way I was building the business out from the inside out turned out to be I was making the right decisions. And so I stepped away from the restaurant industry. I don't want to say entirely, but entirely. And the past 3 years, I've basically been in the Natrona Bottling Company 70, 80 hours a week. I've become a mechanic over COVID. COVID was actually good for us because I was always on the road person. I was always the person that was going and meeting with clients and picking up new business and talking to new businesses about carrying our products. But I was never able to become that technician type of person that I knew I had to become if I was going to continue this business moving forward. Because again, we are 116 years old and our machinery is old. It's why our product is also very good. So I knew I had to get into that. Never was able to. COVID was great for me because it allowed me to step into that mechanic type of role and really learn all the finer inner workings of the machinery and how to fix it, because they don't make parts for this stuff anymore. And
well, that's why Vito is the Sultan of soda. I forgot to mention his official title. So the Sultan knows all about soda now. So but I think it's interesting because you mentioned about the old technology, the old technology, and I think it's important for students to think about that. A lot of our manufacturers do have some very old technology, but it still works and it's still running strong. And the mixture of that with new technology is something that is a great skill.
No offense to anybody who works with computers or anything of that nature, but the beauty of our machinery is that when it breaks, if something happens, all you need to really worry about is just getting dirty and greasy and knowing how to take something apart and how to put it back together correctly. Where when you throw computers into the mix, I mean, that's a whole nother ball game. But that's where the future is, right?
So I'm going to springboard off this. I changed up my internal pathway I was going to take with this, but I'm going to jump back over to Joe real quick. And Joe, you talked about some of this advanced technology you're getting a chance to work with. Probably very different than the environment that Vito's working in that he just described. How cool is it to work on this like cutting edge technology did you know how to use some of that coming out of school, or do you see like, more and more of this advanced technology coming into the manufacturing space that students should be aware of?
Actually, that's a really good point because like Vito said, I've ran surface grinders that are like 50, 60 years old. And the beauty of the older equipment is you can actually get the feel for the machinery and almost becomes like an art. I don't know if that's the same for Vito or not, but that's the beauty of the older equipment. And seeing the newer equipment, it's definitely more computer oriented, so it's less hands-on. So you kind of got to get used to that. But it does really interests me to see that we're developing these technologies that can do what those old timers used to do, that was all skill. And it's better for like the new generation to come in because they can kind of like just learn the cookbook of the programming, and they can upload that all into the computer and have the computer and the machine do it. But you really can't beat the old time skills. Like that really is a specialty, you know what I mean? That's never going to go away. You're always going to need to learn that.
I would imagine though, Joe, that means that we can get a lot more precise with that technology. We could probably have repetitiveness of it, and even just do things that we were never able to do before because of some of that technology.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of the beauties of that really is the fact that, like you said, the repetitiveness of it is more consistent in the different parts that we make. We can make the same part over and over again, and we could put the program away and bring it out in a year and make that same part again. To actually send the customer another punch. Say they broke the old punch that goes into the die section, we can just send them another one that we manufacture. So that really is a beauty of that. And as far as like new technologies, I know we're looking at 3D printing, and that's a new technology they're developing. So that's just going to be a whole nother ballgame whenever that gets fully, put together.
So Don, I'm going to jump over to you because I know Eaton, being the size of the corporation it is and the types of work you're doing, I imagine that you're probably seeing technological changes at a very rapid pace in your industry sector too. Do you want to just talk about that a little bit? And are you seeing things like Internet of Things and 3D printing and any of that coming into your world?
Yeah, absolutely. So PLCs are kind of an odd breed in the technology world because we always joke that while technology is growing rapidly, PLCs will always be 10 years behind because they're so robust and they have to kind of work through everything. They're very basic. It's just ones and zeros, and you don't want to make them too much more complex than that. So while they are advancing, we don't really see too much of the Internet of Things except for when you talk about maybe the metering that we do. So on power systems, we have lots of different types of meters and relays that'll tell you what the source is doing. So it'll measure maybe the frequency or the phasing of it and things like that. So now we have these breakers that when they trip, a customer can actually just go plug in a USB port and they can view the data themselves rather than having either us come out and do a study on it or just saying, oh, it tripped, like reset it or figure out why. They can actually plug in and say, oh, it was a ground fault trip, it was a phase trip. This is exactly what happened. So it's really cool what they're doing in terms of metering and the advanced forms of breakers that you can now connect over the internet and things like that. So we're definitely seeing some of that.
That's cool. So, I think about young folks that are watching this conversation right now, and they grew up with technology, or they love technology, or they love to just it's one of those drivers that gets them excited. And to know that there's careers that are related to that, and that they could be the ones bringing this new technology into these companies and helping to put them on the pathway to the next level of this evolution of this technology. I think should be really exciting for a lot of the students watching this right now. Another thing we hear a lot about, that Generation Y, Generation Z, and others that are really get excited about, is making a difference in the world. So I want to kind of pivot to that a little bit. I'm going to go back over to Claire. Claire, just the nature of you guys being in the medical space, I would imagine that there's probably a lot of satisfaction in your job around making a difference. Can you just talk about that briefly for us?
Yeah, I think it's awesome that I get to be a part of making medical devices that directly help people. Yeah, also the medical field is like growing immensely. Technology is like allowing people to live longer, and that's requiring a lot more medical support and medical procedures. And yeah, I just think it's so awesome that I get to be a part of that.
And if I remember correctly, Cook Medical, I mean, based on the nature of your product, you're really helping individuals that have had challenges in having babies to be able to do that now, right? And that's got to be extremely satisfying.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw the same question over to Amanda, because again, being in the medical device world, I imagine there's immense satisfaction. And again, just knowing that you're making a dent in the world, making an impact.
Yeah, there definitely is. I've known people that have worn a vest, and knowing what it could do for them and for their future, and knowing that what we make can help people spend a little bit extra time with their families. Like she said, like Claire said, with the life expectancy rate going up and people living longer, people are able to spend more time with their families than they might not have if they didn't have our devices to support them. So that's great.
Joe, what do you find exciting about your job? Is the technology? Is it making a difference? Is it maybe there's other aspects of just the interesting clients you get to work with, diversity of work? Tell us a little bit more about what you find cool about manufacturing.
Well, yeah, one of the main things that pops into my mind right off the bat is the fact that we constantly learning different industries and trying to learn different tools to make. So you're never going to be bored. You're constantly growing in your skill set, and that's what I enjoy about it. Get to grow as an employee. I'm going to be doing some traveling in November. I'll be going out to Michigan for some training on one of the new controls for the computer that I'm learning. So that's just exciting. Stuff like that. I like that we're trying to integrate in the environment stuff, because the going green, that's a big thing that they're going to be looking at. So trying to make a difference with that's kind of exciting as well. So, I mean, the opportunities really are endless in manufacturing. And I think that young people really should take a look at it. I wish that somebody told me when I was younger, to be honest. So,
yeah. Vito, being a relatively small company, Vito, you guys don't have as many employees as an Eaton, for example, or some of these other folks, but give us an idea of what some of the folks, different roles that folks have there at a soda pop company. And also, I'm imagine you guys get to get really creative and coming up with new flavors, or how do we, do workarounds or get creative in the marketing? And there's probably a lot of those elements too, if you just want to touch on briefly.
Yeah, actually, recently, thanks to Catalyst Connections, we brought in a nice young fellow, and he's worked out very well for us. No background in any of the technologies that we use here, right? But is eager and willing to learn, and it really in our business, you just have to have a drive to want to learn something new. It's not very difficult. If you can play Legos, you can play with this machinery. It's just a matter of, taking your time and listening to others. The business, what it would give to a young person if they're looking for a way to jump off is, there's the beverage market is humongous. Learning at a ground level, such as ourselves, and we'll call us the ground because we're the, one of the oldest left. So our machinery exemplifies that. But learning how it used to be and, to how it is today, you can go and learn. I mean, the techniques are still very much the same. It's just that they're now using machinery that bottles whip by your eye at 1,000 miles per hour, and you never even touch or feel the products until no one touches them until they hit the shelf. I mean, we are very, very hands-on. It's if you like to be moving with your hands and you like to be kept sharp in your head, it's great.
Well, I got a springboard.
Did I answer your question? I don't even know.
I think you hit on it somewhere in there. But I'll do a quick plug for you. So go to your local Giant Eagle today and pick up some Natrona Bottling Soda. They make some of the best ginger beer in the world. along with a lot of other great flavors, and you can find it at your local Giant Eagle. So there's my little plug for you.
You could be hired.
We're gonna circle back through the group. I think Vito already kicked us off with just a little last few minutes we have here. Time goes really fast, especially with 5 panelists, but there's been a great conversation. The last thing I want to just ask the others on the panel is just give us a 1-minute tip for students that are watching this. What is one thing that you would encourage them to explore while they're in school? What is a subject in school that you think is vitally important to success in a manufacturing career or your career pathway? Just give us one last parting tip for the students, a pearl of wisdom, if you will, that to give to the students as we conclude here. So we'll kick it back to the top of the order. Sorry, Amanda, you're up first to give us your pearl of wisdom for the students.
Yeah, if I had to give anybody advice, I would say that most companies are looking for initiative-based, motivated people that are high achievers. We like to think out of the box, and like I said, we're continually improving. So we need people that can keep up with that and are motivated and want to help improve. The best advice that I would give to students today is that when you get into a position and you find yourself in a job, what I like to do is I like to find the most important or most smartest person in the room, see what they do, learn from them, and emulate them so that I have the skills that I need to move forward. If somebody's coming to one person in a room and asking them all the questions and asking them for help, and you want to be that person, stick to that person. That's the best way to grow inside a company and to learn from the best around you. That's the best advice that I could give a young person today.
That's awesome. Thank you, Amanda. And again, thank you for joining us today. Joe, give us a little nugget of wisdom here.
Yeah, I'd say that if you're interested in the trades, to go online and start doing some research, watch YouTube videos and decide what really interests you. Because I've noticed if you find something that interests you, you're going to want to just build on that. If you're interested in machining, then start getting into learn how to read micrometers, learn how to read calipers, familiarize yourself with the industry, and then start looking for technical schools that teach that. Or, there's a lot of apprenticeships, and the beauty of an apprenticeship is that they'll pay you to go to college. Basically, you can earn money and learn the skill, and nobody can ever take those skills away from you. You'll carry those for the rest of your life. So yeah, definitely do some groundwork and just find something that you like and just start learning about it. That's probably where I'd go.
Claire, what tips would you give to students?
My advice would be just to figure out where your skills and interests lie so you can do a job you enjoy. Like if it's working with your hands to make or fix things, then a production worker, a machinist, a maintenance person, those may be great fits for you. If you have more analytical skills, then maybe working in the office as a support person, like engineering, accounting, or quality assurance might be a good fit. Or if you have like great communication skills and enjoy working with people, then maybe working in human resources.
I love that you mentioned all those other career fields. So many times the students don't realize that under one roof of a manufacturing building, there's literally a dozen, if not 20 different job descriptions and different pathways and different career fields. So let's see, I guess we got Sedona. Bring us home. Last pearls of wisdom.
So I would say don't view your career path as black and white. I think especially people that go to school for something like engineering think that, oh, mechanical engineers do only this one thing, but it's really not like that. Your degree or your background doesn't define your career path. So don't be afraid to just apply to the jobs or go into a field that you've never heard of before, because really, as long as you're willing to learn and you show an interest in it, you're better off than a lot of people, because it doesn't, you don't come out of school or come out of high school knowing everything about a field. I mean, no one really knows that much about power until you get into the field. So everyone that starts off here just has to be willing to absorb as much information as possible. So yeah, don't limit yourself just because of what your background is at the moment.
Well, again, huge thank you to all our panelists today. You all did a fantastic job. I think there was a lot of information. I wish we could have spent another hour with you because I think we could have delved deeper into a lot of topics around quality and attention to detail and specific math skills and different career pathways and some of the other cool clients and technology and stuff that's being utilized. But alas, we had no time for all of that today. But again, I think we covered a lot of ground and really appreciate all your input. You're welcome to stay with us, hear a little bit about what Penn State's doing. That probably would be a benefit to all of your organizations. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our friends at Penn State New Kensington and the Digital Foundry that are going to share some information with us for the rest of our time today.
Thanks, Scott. That was a great session. Really enjoyed it. Some really good tidbits and loved hearing about your journeys. You're going to be hearing from us, myself, Steve Leonard. I'm the operations and program manager for the Digital Foundry, but work very closely with Penn State University, Jim Shields, and Jill Dicken. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to have Jill start. She can introduce herself and she can walk through admissions and what Penn State's involved with as far as majors and activities. And then we'll go to Jim, and then I'll wrap it up talking a little bit about a new thing that we call nexternships. So I'm going to let you go, Jill.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jill Dicken. I was tasked with sharing some of our exciting majors with you and to give you an overview of the admissions process. And I'm not going to lie, 5 minutes to an admissions counselor is like impossible, but I'm going to try my hardest. So if I go too fast for you, I'm going to put my email in the chat at the end, as well as some of the links that I'm going to mention in the next couple of minutes so that you can follow up with me with any questions that you have about admissions at Penn State or any of our majors. So I just want to point out that Penn State's College of Engineering is consistently ranked on the top of the nation. We're currently ranked number 21 in the nation, our College of Engineering, that is. The university itself is made up of many colleges, and within those colleges are where the majors are housed, just to sort of give you an idea of how the structure works. But we currently have close to 30 four-year engineering degrees, 6 four-year engineering technology degrees, and we have 4 two-year engineering degrees at Penn State within the entire Penn State system. There's a couple that I want to mention and highlight today. The first one is electromechanical engineering technology. That's a 4-year engineering program, a Bachelor of Science right here at Penn State New Kensington. So some of our majors can be completed in what we call a 2+2, 2 years at one campus, and then you would transition to complete the major at the campus that has that major. So that's our most common path to a Penn State degree. And almost all of our engineering programs can be completed in that manner. But EMET is one of our programs at Penn State New Kensington that you can do all 4 years right here in your backyard. Graduates of this program, graduate with skills in machine design, automated control techniques, thermal and fluid sciences. I think Sedona could probably do a better job of explaining this program to you. But basically, the students are prepared to combine automation, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering that they can use in industrial settings. We also have a 2-year engineering program here at Penn State New Kensington. It's our biomedical engineering technology program. So biomedical engineering technologists, so those would be the graduates of this program, that would be their official title. These are the folks who are trained to operate, maintain, troubleshoot, and repair medical equipment. So if you've ever gone to the hospital, you know how important some of those machines are, not only for doctors to help their patients, but it's very, very important that these machines operate and are functioning properly every day. So each hospital or the manufacturers will have biomedical technologists that are either employed by the hospital or by the company that manufactures the machines. And even there's some outside companies that will send their technologists in to repair the machines and maintain them. So this is a 2-year program, and it's very career focused. Students enter the workforce right out of school. A lot of times they have internships while in the program, and it's very hands-on. So this is, hands-on medical equipment instruction right in the classroom. where they're learning to inspect the equipment and troubleshoot and maintain it. Some of the things covered is electronics, chemistry, computer networking, and of course more. And then I also want to highlight our IT degree at PSNK. So IT is the use of computers to create, process, store, retrieve, and exchange all kinds of electronic data. So while you're in the IT program here at Penn State New Kensington, you'll build a pretty solid background in networking and databases, programming, system integration, pretty much everything that I don't know how to do, which I guess is true for all of these degrees, unfortunately, for me. As somebody mentioned a little bit ago, we also, looking at manufacturing, there are communication majors that go into this field. They're handling, as Vito mentioned, all of the marketing and all of those types of things and building those connections with the right people. So communications is offered at Penn State New Kensington. We also have a 4-year business degree. And within that business degree, there's options in accounting and business analytics. We also have project and supply chain management. So there's so many different degrees out there that you may not even think of. And that's why I encourage students to reach out to their admissions counselor. If it's Penn State, that's fantastic. Please come talk to me. But if not, I think it's important to talk to the admissions folks at whatever school you're looking at to make sure that you're finding the right fit for you. We also encourage you to come visit us. That's the best way to see what's going on our campus. We're currently open to visits. Those can be in person. We can give you a tour. You can shadow, a student for a day if you want to sit on a class. That's really the best way to find out if it's going to be the right fit for you, is coming here, visiting with us, and hearing about all the wonderful things that Penn State has to offer. Within the Penn State system, there's 20 campuses. New Kensington is located just, 17 miles from downtown Pittsburgh. We definitely take advantage of all the wonderful things that the city has to offer. But then, of course, we also have a ton of activities and clubs right here on our campus. So again, don't hesitate to reach out, come visit us. I'm going to go ahead and put in the link to the application in case you're interested in applying. But for being here today with us, I'm happy to waive your application fee. We just have to connect at some point outside of this Zoom meeting so that I can give you a little bit more information about that. But it is now my pleasure to introduce to you Jim Shields. Jim Shields is the Career Services Coordinator here at Penn State New Kensington. He's also the GREAT Program Coordinator, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about that program. Jim?
Thanks so much, Jill. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's my pleasure to be able to talk with the students and the teachers who are online, but also to connect with the employers representatives who are here. Great to see you all and to talk a little bit about very special exclusive program that we offer here at Penn State New Kensington called the GREAT Program. And we actually have an alum of the GREAT Program here on our panel. So I'm happy to see Sedona, and happy to know that she's out there doing well, representing the campus and representing Eaton. So GREAT Program has been around for 10 years. And why is it? There we go. Students, if you're interested in getting some hands-on right away experience with manufacturing, with technology in companies locally here, the GREAT Program is designed to start you off in your first year with opportunities to explore, to learn, to meet professionals and alumni in these companies and many others in the region. And that's where I'm reaching out to our panelists to say, if you're interested in joining this crowd of excellent companies who are our partners, I invite you to connect with me afterwards. The GREAT Program has been around for 10 years. We're now in our 11th class going through the program, and it really is designed to connect our engineering and our computer technology students with professional opportunities here locally in the region with companies, opportunities, professional networking and connections with our Penn State alumni, but also professionals in their field as first-year students entering the college environment. There's lots of great ways to explore and learn more about manufacturing, technology, engineering, and this is what the GREAT program is designed to do. There's lots of activities, lots of parts of the program, but one of them is, again, that hands-on, on-site type of experience. And over the years, we've had many opportunities to do site visits with companies all around the region. Places like Westinghouse, where we saw the mock-up of an actual nuclear power plant in operation. Siemens, which is here real near the campus, a manufacturer, large company, international company. There is, we went to a construction site, architectural engineers, architects, civil engineering, to see what they do. Elliott Group is in Jeanette, Pennsylvania, manufacturing of heavy industrial equipment. And then our electro-optics center is an arm of Penn State University here locally, and one of the partners in the organization. Again, getting out there, getting to meet professionals, getting to interact and see opportunities on site. What is this? Was a GREAT program lead up to? Well, one of the opportunities in the end of the GREAT program is to apply for internships with some of our partner companies. Here are a couple of our graduates who worked at RJ Lee Group. Again, Siemens has been a partner for a long, long time. Premier Automation is, again, another one of our major partners located in the Monroeville area. RJ Lee, again, these were a couple of our IT computer students working on their servers. And surprise, Sedona. Here's Sedona working at Eaton during her internship. So we're very pleased that that's one of the outcomes, is that you can actually apply for, interview for, and potentially have an internship at the end of your first year of college, which has the potential to exist through the rest of your time at Penn State. So what else makes the GREAT program so great? Really, again, it's designed for first-year students. We start off with these professional interactions. It's about professional development, and we want our students in our program to gain the skills to be confident interacting with each other, but also build the confidence to interact with professionals in your field, because we dive right into, within the first few weeks, having networking lunches with our GREAT program partners. So this is within a couple of weeks of starting at Penn State. You are actually eating lunch and meeting professionals and alumni in your field. Then there's other types of seminars that we do throughout the year. This past year, we did an evening intro to robotics. We've had experiences and demonstrations with virtual reality. We went to our corner, which is located near the Digital Foundry in downtown New Kensington, to hear from experts on energy efficiency and the technology that's involved with that. Our partner companies help us with mock interviews. So we want all the students in the program to become proficient and do well at interviewing, because ultimately we take advantage of Penn State resources, like going to the major engineering week and information technology week career fairs up at the University Park campus, where there are hundreds of employers to interact with. Of course, in any trip to University Park requires a visit to our Penn State University Park Lion Shrine. And of course, anyone who's familiar with Penn State knows that we love our creamery. So any visit to Penn State also ends with a trip for ice cream at the creamery. So we're really, we encourage any of you students who are interested in learning more about this. This is a program that is exclusive to Penn State New Kensington. If you are starting at Penn State New Kensington, again, in an engineering degree, a computer-oriented or IT degree, or our EMET degree, you are welcome to learn more and apply to be a part of the GREAT program. You do need to apply in the spring before you start at PSNK to be a part of the program. And just encourage you, I didn't put a link in the program here. It's just as easy as a search online for a great program at PSNK. It takes you right to our website with more details and a brochure and a link to an application. And for those employers who are online right now, again, we're always looking for more partners. We're always looking for more experiences to give the students in the program, and also to give you more exposure and more opportunities to connect with these top-notch Penn State engineering and computer students. So for all of you, employers, students, teachers, please keep the great program at Penn State New Kensington in mind as a fantastic way to begin your academic and your professional career at Penn State. So thank you very much for your time. Great to meet you all. And I am going to introduce Steve Leonard, who introduced himself earlier. He is with our Digital Foundry.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Nexternships, which is something that we have started to kick off here within this year as part of getting people placed both in businesses for what you would call internships, but they're different. Nexternships really are around trying to provide a full educational experience to the students as they either work as a intern or nextern, as we call them, within a business, or as they work as an extern within the campus, because there's so many activities going on in the campus where they can learn about new technologies, learn about new skill sets, learn about the things that really will help them acclimate very smoothly into business today. I want to share a couple of examples. One of the things that we've been doing is we've been working with and learning about and building virtual reality environments to help in the learning comprehension of the students, as well as helping businesses maybe in their workforce training. So these environments enhance that training through an immersive experience, which is really exciting. I can't show you the actual VR experience today, but we'll be showing that on Tuesday through a couple of the examples that our students are going to walk us through for our next National Manufacturing Day session. So we use imagery to improve on cognition and recall by actually going into a space and seeing where things are. It's really been beneficial for people to understand maybe concepts and technologies, and it really promotes interactive engagement while you're learning. So we've applied some of this to the Digital Foundry workforce training activities, which we're rolling out the first of the year. And we see this as something that eventually can help in doing simulated training in critical manufacturing environments. It's pretty exciting. The other thing that we've been doing with some of our nexterns is providing access to digital tools to help them create applications that can track data for the campus as well as for business. So we're looking at things like low to no code software tools that we can access, get the nexterns trained on this, and then have them develop simple applications that can apply to different needs for either a business or for the campus or for some of the affiliated organizations like the Digital Foundry or the Corner. Some of the examples that we're looking at is a follow-up app for customer inquiries, dashboards to monitor status in an operations environment, and you can go as far as asset maintenance of high-value assets. So you can create dashboards, you can actually take the data and be able to put it in a format that is easily read, and decisions can be made from it. We also are learning about and applying new digital tools to help businesses keep track of key issues and challenges. So similar to capturing data, we're now looking at a database and application integration tool that's all in one. So it integrates with other native applications. A lot of times one application can't talk with another. So we're looking at tools to make them be able to talk together. So we're trying to find those tools and educate the students on that, the nexterns, and try to find the ones that are intuitive and friendly, user-friendly to operate. So we've been looking at this as a means to capture customer issues and challenges in a flexible and a configurable system, and trying to link challenges to project plans and timelines. And lastly, we use digital tools to kind of create surveys that can help capture data or key data from local businesses and industries. So some of you may be familiar with surveys that you might have done in your classes in high school, but this is something that's very important to businesses, and it's important to what we're doing at the campus as well as the Digital Foundry, specifically with manufacturing businesses. Our role is to really serve local and regional manufacturers. So we are able to kind of collect surveys, learn how to consolidate the data to identify key issues or key needs, and provide that information so that decision makers can make really good data-driven decision-making actions. So that's a little bit about what some of these next turns have done this summer. And the program is going to continue to expand. We've got some interesting plans on the way for next year. So with that, I'm going to wrap up and then turn it back over to you, Scott.
Well, thank you again to our friends at Penn State New Kensington, the Digital Foundry, all of our panelists today for joining us for this conversation. And again, hopefully the students, you walk away from this with learning more about manufacturing and the career pathways and options available to you. And just as a quick wrap up, yeah, so first of all, I just want to let you know there's over 2,800 manufacturing companies across 12 counties of southwestern Pennsylvania. We make everything, as you heard today, from soda pop to medical devices to things for the Department of Defense to, almost anything you can think of. Adirondack chairs sold at Walmart. So it literally is a very wide variety of things that are made here in southwestern Pennsylvania. We encourage you to explore these careers further. We'll throw some information into the links that you'll see in the description on this YouTube channel, as well as flash some up here on the screen to give you some more places to explore these careers further. If you're a teacher that is utilizing this video in your classroom, there is a link to our Google Drive in the description of this YouTube video as well. And you'll be able to access a step-by-step guide to help to have some hands-on activities for your students to continue to explore these careers further. You'll also see links throughout this presentation to all of the folks that spoke today, and a quick survey that you can complete with your students in the links as well. So again, thank you so much for participating and joining us today. And we really hope you consider manufacturing as a career. It's really exciting stuff happening. Have a good day.